Hi guys, welcome to Card Magic 365, another great trick using just a regular deck of cards. You just need 52 cards for this, along with something to deface the cards. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that, because this trick is a classic among magicians, but it's still a favourite trick of mine. With the deck, you can give them a shuffle if you so wish. So you can give the cards a shuffle, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just pick out a particular card. It doesn't really matter which card I pick out, it can be any card, and I'm going to write a premonition on here. In fact, totally ruin a good pack of cards. So I'm going to take this. I'm not going to let you see what I write because it may influence what's about to happen. So I'm just going to write my prediction. Just blow it just to make sure it doesn't smudge, and there it is there. So our prediction stays in full view. Now from the cards you now have a choice of basically 51 cards are now left in the pack, okay, and you're going to choose one of these cards, and you can have any card you like. I'm going to spread the cards if I can, because I don't want to touch these in case it again influences your choice. The cards have been shuffled, you've seen they're regular. I want you just to pull out any card you like. Now just before you pull that out, are you happy with that? Do you want to keep that, or do you want to change your mind and choose another card? You want this one here, so you've changed your mind. Okay, yeah, that's fine, we'll take that. Once again, you could have chosen any card in the pack, yeah, just prove that to you, any card whatsoever. The two cards that we've got now, I wrote a premonition on mine, okay, and I'm going to show you what I wrote first of all. The 10 of clubs. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but there is the 10 of clubs, and the card that you chose, in fact you changed your mind, just happens to be the 10 of clubs, and that is a great prediction effect. So here is the secret to that classic piece of magic. Now it's not a difficult card trick to do, and don't forget, if you're a first timer here at the channel, please subscribe. Also hit the notification bell, that way you're reminded every week when we upload a new video. Onto the trick itself, you need one of these and a deck of cards. Now for this trick I would recommend that you don't use a new pack of cards. I'm sure you've all got old decks of cards that are grubby, that have been around for years and you don't use anymore for your routines, so that would be ideal. I've got a very old deck of cards here, and in fact you probably noticed that from the performance I couldn't even spread the cards very well because they kind of stick together. But what do? Well, you've probably guessed already, this card is the card that I'm going to pick, and this is the card someone's going to pick, or this one, or this one, or this one. But note that on the edge of all the cards is the name of this card, the 10 of clubs. So what you do is you write on the edge of all the cards the card that you want to be your false card, the 10 of clubs. That's it. Now what I do is pick a card that you haven't got to write too much on. So don't pick, for example, the 3 of diamonds, because for you to write the 3 of diamonds along there, one, it'll be quite small, just squeeze it in, and secondly it's a little bit tedious having to write all these cards. Now the original trick used to do all 51 cards with this written on the edge. I actually prefer to keep a few of the cards, probably half a dozen or just over, that are free of anything, so just don't write on these. What I then do is, you can put this in among these. You can mark it if you want, that's up to you. And then I drop these on to the packet like that. Now, let me just show you what's special about this Sharpie. It's dead, it's dry, there's nothing that's going to write on that. If you've got an old Sharpie, the best thing to do is to leave the lid off it for a few weeks and never put the cap on. I always leave that stored like that. It dries out the tip, but it's great for these tricks where you have to pretend to write on something that's not going to write. So that's the first part of it. You introduce the cards and you can show most of the card. The only part you can't show is this bit here, so you can freely spread the cards. As I said, this pack is awful because it all sticks together, but when you've got a pack that can spread, you can spread them quite freely, and they just are a regular deck of 52 cards. I then shuffle the cards, making sure I work these to the top. You don't have to do this, by the way. You can just go straight into the routine and turn the cards towards yourself and pretend to casually. Don't make it obvious you're looking for a particular card. So I just casually remove a card, namely the 10 of clubs. Put the cards to one side, and I then go through the motions of pretending to write. And you can write the 10 of clubs, but of course nothing's going to appear there. Okay, just don't let them see this card. Put that down, give it all the usual dramatics of blowing on the card to say I better dry that first, and put it carefully down and put the lid back on. The rest of it is just a case of spreading the cards or offering them a card, and they can take any card as long as they don't take this half a dozen cards at the bottom down here. Another reason I quite like having these down here is because when you spread the cards, once they've taken a card, you can spread the card and say, look, you could have had any of these, and you can actually show a few of these, so they're actually getting a look at the whole card, and it really does convince them that there's nothing untoward with the cards. Once they've chosen the card, they would have picked one of the cards that's got the 10 of clubs written on the edge, and I just push it to one side while you're showing these. Okay, that way they'll forget which is which. Once you've done that, put these cards in your pocket. Don't leave them on the table for obvious reasons. So put these away. You then turn to these, and you can either just throw the cards on the table like that, or you can turn them over and take your card and put what is apparently theirs. Remember, that's the 10, that's the one you chose. Push that and say, look, you chose a card. Do you remember I wrote on this? And I tend to turn it round to show the 10 of clubs written on here. And then when you reveal this, to the lay person, this appears to be an absolute miracle. It's a great little trick, and I guess you could sign your name on there and give that away as a souvenir, or even write your number in case you get any work from this as well. Now, an interesting little side note on here, a friend of mine that used to do this, to convince him even more, when he wrote all of his cards here, when he wrote those using a regular pen, what he would do is he would write 10 of clubs, and then he would smudge it like that. Okay, so he would actually smudge that, and he would do that on all the cards in the pack, so every one of them was smudged, and that was to convince them that he had just written it. Because when he comes to perform the trick and he removes his card, takes his fake pen, pretends to write on here. He then rubs his thumbs like, whoops, a smudge. And he used to put a little bit of black ink on there and just smudge it and say, whoops, and then he would blow it. That way, the audience almost believed that he had written the prediction, accidentally smudged it. So when he come to reveal one of these cards, people saw the smudge and it enhanced the effect a little bit more. That's a nice little side note there of what someone used to do. As I said, use an old pack of cards, but hopefully you'll enjoy performing that. And don't forget, these Sharpie pens, leaving the lid off to get a dry one is useful for loads of tricks. So it's a prop you can keep for a long time. Practice and enjoy.